Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the stream. Today, I will be going to make a lobby system. Well, not really a lobby. Maybe. I'm going to make a lobby area, and it's going to have a shop where you can spend your currency. And then we're going to make two mini games that cycle with time. And those games will be like parkour, and things of that nature. And then we will collect coins in those events. And then when the event is finished, you can go in the lobby area and spend your money that you have made. So it's going to be a 3 or a 4-parter, this series. So today we're going to set up the shop. I'm actually going to look at the shop preset in the game system, in the rule system here. I haven't done that before. So I don't know if it works too well or not, the shop. And we'll figure that one out. And yeah, that's what we'll be doing today. How is everybody? Guten Morgen to you too, Tom. Bob Full, if you know what I mean. How are you? Thanks for joining. All right, so let's dig in. And just make sure I can see you all. Yep, perfect. All right, so we're going to go in a rule system here and click this shop. So it says purchase items with currency gained through collectibles or actions. And we'll see what it gives us. All right, so we've got a few things set up. And it looks like it gives us the usual player joined and show to HUD. And then we have math to shop, add money. We have a variable to add 100 to money. So we can change that to message arguments. So that way we can have variants. Or we could have just a single coin that's always the same currency, but I like to show the variant version of that. Then we have a comparison rule. This one here is to purchase the item success and purchase the item fail. So here you got item 1. If it's greater than or equals to 100, your money, that means it's successful. And if your money is less than 100, it will be a fail. We also want to show a message to the player as well when it fails. So we're going to add a few things and change a few things here to get the shop that we want. And yeah, let's do it. It's created a variable, which is a local variable. So local variable means everyone will have their own wallet, their own purse, which will have their own a certain amount of gold that they've collected. If it was global, it will be shared by everybody. So everyone will be sharing the same purse. But in this case, it's local. All right, so what we want to add here is a set text value. And we want a game screen to be a banner. Now this is to show the message when a purchase is failed. We do have a message here, shop purchase failed, and that needs to go somewhere, which could go to the banner. So for instance, we can say shop purchased failed, which is here. And we can say how long we want the banner to be displayed. And then we have to show a variable. Variable here would be text because we want to show some writing. So we're going to create a text and it's going to be a local one. And we'll just say local banner so we know what it's for. The value here can be whatever you want. If you're not going to use this banner for anything else but show a purchase fail, then you can just say not enough money. And that's it for that. This one here is for a message argument. We'll delete it for now, just so I can show you the preset version of it and what we can do with it. All right. So we've got shop add money to add money to our board. So we're going to go ahead and just do that for the sake of testing. So we're going to grab this museum panel, rotate it so it's looking at us. And here we're just going to have a message broadcaster. It can be multiplayer, that's fine. And we're going to make the message required interact. So the player needs to press E on this panel for it to work. We're going to send it to the rule system and we're going to add money, shop add money. So if we go ahead and test this out, we should have a banner pop up. I mean a HUD, which you can see on the left hand side. It says money. And when we press E on this panel, you can see we have money. Now we can use the message to shop. So we've got shop item 1 and shop item 2, where it's going to look for the values of 100 and 200. So if we go ahead and use that on, say, an NPC, and we can have an asker on this one, which requires interact. We can say shop guy, just whatever. And here you can say, what would you like to purchase today? And we can have item 1, losing my voice today, 100 gold. And we can have item 2 for 200 gold. Excellent. And we want to send the messages to shop item 1 for the first one. So we've got shop item 1, and this one here will be item 2. And we'll go ahead and save that one, and then we'll test it out and make sure it works as intended. My lips irritating me today. All right, so let's check item 1 and item 2. So item 1, it says we've got not enough money. And item 2, it says we don't have enough money. We'll go ahead and give us some funds. And now when we purchase item 1, it's taken away 100. And if we purchase item 2, you can see it's taken away 200 from our purse. When it's successful, it sends a message, shop item 1 purchased and shop item 2 purchased. So what we can do in this case is bring out a numpad. And this one here can spawn the item that we are purchasing. So we just need this to be an asset spawner. And we can say shop 1. Shop item 1 purchased, and we can duplicate this one and it'll be item 2 purchased. Now we need to bring out the items that we want the player to buy. So we can go props, or we can go equipment, go basics. So we have a sword and we can have a shield. And what we can do with these is have a collectible on them. So the, what's this? This one has, why does a shield have that behavior on it? That's so weird. All right, let's go ahead and remove those so we can now put our collectible on it. It's global. We want to do it by collision. It can be equipable, and we can send a message when it's equipped, but we won't worry about that at this stage. And we can have a basic sword. We could rotate these so they spawn upwards. We could also add a visual effects on here. And the visual effect we can add is the legendary glow. this one here, and you can see it's got a glow effect. That's a bit overpowering, so you can only change the settings one by one. And we can go global scale and make this a bit smaller. And we can stop and play just to check it. You can do it for both of them. So that way they're not overpowering. Like that. Yeah, let's do that. It's amazing. 0.5. Probably a bit more for the shield. Yeah, something like that. All right. I might do a little bit more for the sword as well. And now we can save it as a preset. So we have basic sword. We can delete that. And now we can do another preset for the shield. And we can delete that. And now we can bring out the preset for the... We could do the shield for the 100. And the sword for the 200, or whatever the case you want. That's no issues. You design it the way you want. We'll save and test that out. Alrighty. So we'll give us some money. And here we're just going to spend item 1. You can see that it's spawned, and we have item 2, and you can see that it has spawned. They're kind of too low, especially the shield. So what you can do here is you can spawn so it's a bit higher, so 1 block higher. It's just an offset on the asset spawner, and that should mean that it will spawn a bit nicer. It's not in the ground, and I can pick that up. And the same with the sword. I can pick that up. And if I try to buy anything else, it will let me know that I don't have enough money. And I can equip these now. So there's my sword and shield. Ready to rock. Nice and easy. Now we're using the shop add money. And it's going to this math rule where it's adding the money. What we want to do here is just add money. And we want to make a message argument here. And the message argument will just be a number. And it'll just be money. And we click create. And now we want to add the value of the message argument. So when we send the message add money, it will add money with the value of whatever you sent as the message argument. So let's bring out a coin. Because I like to use the coin. And we can do the spinning coin for this one. And here we want to make it a collectible. And one global means there's only one copy in the experience. If you make that false, there's one copy for everybody. So when one player picks it up, it's still there for the other players as well. So just select which one is going to be suited for your experience. We want to send this message to the rules, and the message we want to send is add money. And now you can see we have that message argument field, and we can have any value we want. And we can add a sound when it's collected, and that's that. So we can get rid of this panel, and now we can save. We can snap that to the ground, and we can save this as a preset. And we can duplicate with Control D. And now we have a whole bunch of coins that you can see when we pick up. It's given us 35 each time. And we can go ahead and spend that at the shop. Like we know that should work. What else do we need to do? Let's go back to the rules. When the shop purchase fails, we send a message here, shop purchase failed. What we can do as well is we can have this as a local banner, and we're going to make that a message argument, and we're going to have text, so we can have our text. And we're also going to add a number for time, or we can have seconds, and click create. So now the duration is going to be whatever's in the message argument, and that's how long the banner is going to be displayed on the screen. And the actual value that it's going to display will be determined by the local banner text, and we can change that text here using the same message. So local banner, we're going to get the text variable, and we're going to change it to whatever the message argument is. Now we can call this local banner. And now we can send the message local banner from anything to display a thing across the screen to alert the players of something. And we can remove these two out of the field. And this one here will be, whoops. This one here will be display HUD. And I like to have this banner next to it as well. So in the top corner, we have the logic to display the HUD when the game begins, when player joins. And we also have a local banner message argument set up as well. And I'll show you where we can send this. So if we have a purchase fail, instead of purchase fail here, we can have a local banner. And from the local banner, we can send the text and we can send how long. So we can say not enough money. And we can do that over here as well for the other fail. And we can say not enough money for 1 second. So when the fail happens, it sends a message local banner with these message arguments to wherever it needs to go. Here it's the text value and banner. So this message argument text is being sent over here, and it's going to set the text by whatever's in the message argument, which is not enough money. Here it's using the message argument of the duration of seconds. So here we have 1 as a value. So it's going to use the duration amount of whatever's in the message argument. So now when we talk to the shop owner and we try to buy something, it still says not enough money and it's displayed for 1 second. And that's one way to simplify it and use message arguments. When shop 1 is purchased, it says add 100 minus 100. We now have subtract, so we don't need to do it that way. I believe that was set up and hasn't been touched, these presets, since before this was all working properly. So we can say money subtract 200 equals money. That's one way to do it. Now we do have shop item 1 and shop item 2, and they have different values here. You could possibly set this up as message arguments as well. There are different ways to do that. Maybe we can try to set one up now and see how it goes. So 1 second. Because you want the different shop numbers to have different purchase numbers. So when they are purchased, it goes to the right asset spawner. That's one way of doing it. What we could do here, though, is purchase item, and we can have a message broadcast, and we can have a number, and we can call it cost. And here we can say 100, and then for this item here, we can have 200. That's one way we could do it. But then we need to have an individual message here, which means toggling on and off toggle behaviors. Because they're using the same message, I guess that won't work because you can't tell it which one to toggle on, if that makes sense. So this is why we have the individual different things here. But if you have, let's say, 20 items that you want to purchase, you probably need to make 20 of these with 20 different messages. There must be a way to do it with message arguments, and that way it makes things simplified. And then you can toggle these things on and off. So one way to do it is to have, let's say, a middleman. So we could have a message we could have message here, or we could actually even have speaker here. This might work too. Speaker. With the speaker, you could have here item 1 and item 2. With item 1, we could turn this on, item 1, and turn this one off. Oh, sorry, we can turn that on with item 1 and toggle on, toggle this back on. Toggle off, sorry. So here we can have a message which is listening for item 1. So it's going to go from the speaker, from the asker, to the asset spawner, which has a speaker. It's going to listen for item 1, and it's also going to turn on the asset spawner. And what we're going to do here is the purchase item, and we're going to have 100 gold. And that's just going to go to all. Actually, no, purchase item can go to the rules. And what we can have here is purchase success. I think that's how you spell it. And you can do the same thing over here. Purchase success, same message to spawn the item. But what we're doing here is toggling them on and off at different times. So this one here is item 1 and toggle off. This one here will be item 2 and toggle off. And we're going to add a speaker. And this speaker here is the same thing. It's going to be item 2. I believe that's what we had. Item 2. Just want to make sure it's going to all. I think it is. Yep. Okay. And here we're going to, I don't know, edit logic. And we're going to send this to the rule system. And this one here is purchase item. And this one here is going to cost 200. Now we're going to send a message here, which is purchase item, and then purchase success. So we can go ahead and say purchase item, and this one here, purchase success. And what we can do is delete this one here, which is shop number 2. Shop number 2. And here we can say purchase success, which is for the item, and we're going to subtract whatever the message argument was. I guess we could do message argument here, which is the cost. When it's purchase success, we can subtract the value of how much it was from the message argument. We'll have to work that next part out, but this one here is going to be purchase item. So it's going to do the comparison. If we have enough money from the message argument, then it will work. Purchase success, and we need to have something now that minuses the amount that was in the message argument. And I don't know if that would work from here to here because we have multiple items. But what we could do is set up another variable. So we can say a number and it's local, and we can call this cost. And what we can do here is we can delete this one. We'll move this one out of the way. And we're going to have a set number value. So we're going to do purchase item here. And we're going to set the cost, which is our local cost, to the value of the message argument. So then what we can do is we can subtract the variable of the cost and bring that in. All right, so let me recap of what's going on here. We talk with the asker. Now asker will either send a message item 1 or item 2. It will go to item 1 or item 2 here. If it goes to item 1, it's going to be sent to this speaker, and it's going to toggle on this behavior. When it does, it's going to send a message from the speaker to the rules, purchase item, and the amount. If it's successful, it's going to send a message, purchase success, and bring out the sword. And this one here is a shield. And this one here is item 2. I'm going to change the values here. So this one's 100 and the sword is 200. Cool. The message is the same on both item 1 and item 2. What's happening here is that they both send a message purchase item, but only one sends it depending on which one you wanted, because it toggles on. It sends that message to the rules, and it does a comparison to see if you've got enough money based on how much the value was of the message argument. If it wasn't enough money, it will send a message to the banner and tell you not enough money. If it's successful, it's going to send a message purchase success, which will then go ahead and spawn your item. It will also send a message to set the value of the item to a variable called cost. So when it's successful, we can minus that value. It doesn't matter what the value is because it's carried on inside the message argument. All right, so let's test that out and save first. Always save. Timio, how's it going? You're saying doing it with tickets and kiosk in my Lost Desert. Players earn killing enemies and can spend in kiosk. Also added automatic drop of some tickets every 10 minutes. Great and useful logic. Awesome. One question. Hi Ian, how's it going? I'm yet to look at your video to problem solve that. I've just been busy today, but I have that on my list to do. Trying to find the way to create a shield logic which can block the trigger volume which produces damage on avatar in its range. Which can block the trigger volume. Do you have to hold right click to block? Is it an action or is it just an equip that you're trying to work out? If it's just to equip, it's easy. But if it requires an action, like a timed action, let me know what you're trying to do more specifically, and I'll see if I can think of a workaround. All right, let's test this out. So now if I try to spawn number 1, it's saying not enough money. Number 2, not enough money. Now I haven't toggled it off, so it should spawn for both when I purchase one. And it does. That's because we need to now have a message that loops to turn them back off. So we have here toggle off, and we want it to toggle off either when a purchase is successful or when the local banner is triggered, because that means the purchase wasn't successful. So let's do that. What we can do here is have another logic. We could just have a message broadcaster, and it's going to be listening for purchase success or local banner. And what it will do is everyone in range will have toggle off. So it's just going to toggle off these two assets. Doesn't matter which action occurs. We can also have here, duplicate this one. When purchase is successful, we can send a message to rules to send a message local banner, and then we can have purchase success. So it doesn't matter what happens, if it fails or not, we're going to be able to tell the player if their action was successful or not. So if we do item 1, you can say purchase success, and then we can pick up our item. You can see the money has disappeared on the left. If we do item 2, you can see it's purchase success, the money has disappeared, and we can pick up our shield. If we try to do it again, you can see not enough money. You can bypass the volume by using message broadcaster to send message and toggle to turn those messages on and off on player clicks. You can use the click down and click up to toggle that volume message. Yeah, that's a good workaround, Tom. The problem is that the damage trigger has already toggled, which turns it on if the weapon is picked up. I see. So if you have something that's toggled on when the weapon is picked up, instead of that weapon picking up asset sending the damage, you send another message to another message broadcaster with a different toggle, and then you can toggle that one on and off. So you're just basically having a chain, and that chain allows you to toggle it on and off in a different way. So it could send from the message broadcaster with the weapon to another message broadcaster, which activates with the shield before it gets to the player. That would work. All right, so let me save this one. So we've taken the shop and we've kind of shrunk it a bit using message arguments, and we can now display information using just one single message. We can add money of different values just using one single message. We can purchase an item using one single message. So if we want like 15 different items, we don't need to make 15 different sets of rules. We only need this. And that will handle everything. So if you want more items, you can have here item 3. You can have a value of 2000. You can have item 3 be the message that gets sent. And then we can duplicate this message broadcaster. And all we do here is change item 2 to item 3 and item 2 to item 3. And then we just change the value here to 2000. And that's pretty much done. And then we just need to change it to another item that we want. It could be another preset, it could be a coin. And now it's going to listen for 2000, which we don't have. But let's just quickly test that out. So now we have a third item and it won't let us purchase it because we don't have enough money. Now for testing purposes, because we use a message argument, we can take one of these coins and change the value here to 2,000. So when we pick it up, it will give us the exact money that we need. And now we can test that. And you can see it's taken away the 2,000 and it's given us our item. And that item gave us some money. So it cost us 2,000 to get 35. It's not a good deal. Don't recommend it. You can go broke pretty quick doing that. But it just gives you an example of how you can use a single message to give different values and then use all of that message arguments to make your rules pretty simplified, if that makes sense. This is all you need now, and you can do it with as many items as you want. You can have a shop with 50 items and you don't need to add to the rules, which is pretty handy. Cool beans. That's a bit about the shop. Let's see if we can add something to it. All right, next we want to have a pretty much a central area for everyone to explore and have fun in, while we have like timers for different events that you can join. So if you want to join a parkour race, you'll have a timer up the top of the screen to let you know when that's going to begin, and when it hits 0, it will teleport anyone that wanted to join in the parkour race to the correct area. This one here is going to change this method because there's easier ways to do it in future versions, but for this version I will give you the version that I know of on how to do this. So what we want to do is to see if players want to join a particular race. So let's create a area over here, and we can put up a fence. I don't know if we have fence by default. Yeah, we do. We'll just put up a fence here, a fence here. Nothing fancy. Nothing fancy. We just want to have an area where players can go and sign up in. I dislike this block being a default block, and it doesn't match the actual block that's here by default. I think that is annoying. So let's go to basics and we'll get the right block. Yes. All right, we have a little sign up area. We could have a little panel here so players can get a an idea of what this is. Here we can have a message argument. Sorry, not message argument, message broadcaster. It will always be on, I guess. We can toggle that off another time. And what we could do here is have interact, and it will send a message to everyone in range. So we'll just have a our numpads nearby, and be sign up event 1. And we'll just put down a numpad. We'll make that no collisions, invisible. And here we'll have an asker. Sign up event 1. And so would you actually, because the asker only has the, like if you have a multiplayer game and someone's using that asker, no one else can interact with it. I don't know if that's fixed in the future versions. I haven't tested it. But for this version, having an asker kind of breaks it. especially if you have someone that just goes AFK while their asker is on and never selects anything. You can kind of grief games that way. So let's use a volume, and that volume will be a box, something like that. And what we can do here is have a message sign up event 1 that will be sent to all. And what we can do here is we can have a number, and that's a local number, and we'll call it event sign up. And we'll have a rule here which will then set number value, and we can have sign up event, and we can have your personal number be 1. So if you walk into this volume area, it's going to set your number to 1 to say that you want to sign up for the race. And just to see that in action and working, I'll just put a sign up event so you can see it in action. So if I go ahead and press tab, you can see event sign up is 0, and when I walk in this area, it's now 1. All right, awesome. And we can have here message argument, message broadcaster sends a message argument. We'll send that to all. And what we can do here is leave event queue. And what we can do with this one is we can have we can probably use this same asset here. We'll have a speaker, and we will have that speaker that listens for that message, leave event queue, and we can send a message local banner, which just says you have left the queue. And we'll leave that as 1. And then what we need to do is set this number here to leave event queue to be 0. So let's save that and test that out and see if it works as intended. All right, so if we walk in this area, our event sign up is 1. And if we press E on this sign, we can say you have left a queue. We can also send a message to let players know when they've signed up. So sign up event, we can have a message broadcaster here. So we can keep everything on the one asset. And it's going to listen to the message sign up event. And then it's going to send a message to the rules, which is a local banner. And that is you have joined the queue, and that will be 1 second. So now when we walk in, it lets the player know that we've signed up, and when the player presses E, it lets them know that they have left the queue. And we're going to use that personal number 1 or 0 to determine which players we're going to teleport from the lobby area into the race area or wherever the event is going to be. So it gives players a chance to sign up or leave in the lobby area to a minigame. Next, we want a timer to let players know when the next event will begin. And we can also change this sign up to be for whatever race or event we want, just based on changing the teleport areas toggles. So you toggle it on and off depending on what you want next to happen. So yeah, I'll show all of that in a moment. All right, let's set up a timer. So we're going to have a timer here. And we've got to set up a time variable. We don't have any times, so we're going to do a time. This will be global, so everyone is going to see the same time. If you want it to be separate times for like racing, like countdown races to get from A to B or checkpoints, you can do local. Global here is for race timer or for countdowns for an event. Anything that needs the same time for everyone to see. Name is going to be event countdown. And the formatting can be whatever. Whatever you want. That's going to be set up here. So this is event countdown. And I can have event starts in and then it counts down. But we need something now that counts down and triggers that. So let's set event number. And now we need to start the time. So time, which will be start timer. Is timer countdown? It is, right? Yes, yes it is. Stopwatch is counting up. All right. So we've got player joined. What we can do here is we can have a... So here it sends a message player joined. We can add a speaker. And when we have the message player joined, we can send the message only once. So it will only happen when the first player joins the experience. And then we can say start event timer. And then we can use that message to start the event timer here. And the duration can be a variable or a message argument, or whatever the case may be. Here we're just going to do a fixed value. We will alter this as we go along. So we can do, say, 20 seconds just for this example. And when it hits the end, we can say TP players to event. TP players to event. And we'll call this one event timer. And when we TP players to event, I'll show you what we have to do for that one. Just reading chat now. Yeah, I don't think we'll have the ability to rotate blocks. We will have rotate assets in the next major update on X, Y, or Z axes, clockwise or counterclockwise with different speeds. It's going to be really good, especially for parkour, race games, and things like that. What else we got? Yeah, Tom's right. If you want blocks to rotate, just make them an asset. Or make two different blocks and void one and spawn the other one. We do have void and multis for this purpose. So if you have void behavior here, you can void a certain type of block and destroy it in a certain area. And then all you do here is duplicate. And then you have a multi. And then you can spawn a block in its place. So if you've got two different blocks that are designed differently in VoxEdit to make it look like they rotate, you can use this technique where you destroy a particular block with the void and spawn this different block at the exact same time. So it should be seamless if you use the exact same message. And because you could determine which specific block to destroy, it won't destroy your newly spawned block. And you can have two voids stacked on each other if you want them to rotate from one block to another, and just use different messages here to get the right blocks. rotated. Something like that, right? So same message for one void and one multi, and then different message, but the same for this pair here. And that's how you can get blocks to disappear and reappear and make it look like that it's changed. It won't have a rotating effect though, so no animation for that one. It will just be a visual change. Fighting for every single frame, yeah, I know the feeling. I changed sounds and visual effects from multiplayer to single player, and that seems to drop FPS. Don't use bird behavior. If using bird behavior or things that walk around or require calculation, also adds FPS issues. All right, let's see if this timer works. All right, you can see the timer up the top. It doesn't have a the text for it. Let's see if we actually added the text. We got event starts in and event countdown. And this is on player joined. Ah, the text disappeared. Race starts, or event, I should say event. Event starts in. Now if I click here and click here, it's there now. So if I tab, we should see that, and it does automatically tick down. So you can have 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever the case you want for that. Now when it hits 0, we do have a message to say TP players to event. So we're going to bring out a volume trigger, because I don't think there's anything on this asset spawner at this stage. That's health. No, we got more options in the next update here, which has a volume and raycasting. Although raycasting is high performance, would be good for single player games and other things. So next major update, I'll do some tutorials and things on raycast and what you can do with it. Right now it's only working if you attach it to a pickable. It's not very smart, but it is improved in future updates. So here we can only use play sound, I think. And we can send a message, TP players to event. I don't know if this will work. Let's test it out. So we're going to play a sound. Generic button, that will do. And we're going to wait for message, and it'll be TP players to event. And the message to send will be check event number. And we're going to send that to the rules. And then here we're going to compare numbers. So we're going to compare numbers. And we're going to check event number, and if our event sign up is equals to 1, we're going to TP player to race, TP player to event. No, we already got that for the other one. We'll just say TP player. Nice and simple. That should work. Let's test that out. I don't know if it will do group. That's fine. Why do I have this out? I probably was going to do something with it. All right, let's just say that disappeared. Let's just say this is the race area or whatever the case may be, or wherever you want the event to occur. This one here is just a quick example to show you it working or not working. We'll see. Teleport, and we can say TP player. This one here is TP event 1, and TP player will be going to TP event 1, instant teleportation, teleport all players in a given area. I don't know. I haven't really tried that. But let's see if this basic thing works, where I can walk in here. I changed my HUD so it showed a countdown here. Oh, that's what I did. Event sign up. That's why I was confused. I changed the wrong one last time. All right, so we can go in here. We have event sign up. We can leave. We can join back up. We can collect some coins. All right, and it's teleported me to the event area. So the sound component does work. And that is ready to rock. Now, if we test it and let the countdown timer go to 0, and we don't have a sign up, let's see if it doesn't send us there. Yep, it played the sound, but it didn't teleport us to the event because we're not signed up for that event. We are now, but we don't have a countdown anymore for the next event. So you need some sort of timer for the next event, like 5-10 minutes. And when that hits 0, we want to teleport all the players from the event back into the lobby, where a different event can then count down to begin. So far, so good. All right. What else do we need to do? Maybe we should have a mini game in the lobby area. So if you're not in a race or an event, that you can spend your money. We already got the shop set up here, basic shop with the basic logic. We got the basic sign up. We got the basic teleport. Maybe we can set up a rock, paper, scissors kind of game. I haven't done that before, so I'm wanting to try that out. And we'll have this guy's twin brother over here to maybe facilitate a rock, paper, scissors game. It's probably better with custom assets, but we're just going to show the logic here, and then you can yeah, creative game guy 1. Would you like to play, is it scissors, paper, rock, rock, paper, scissors, whatever? Paper, scissors, paper, rock, right? Scissors, paper, rock, SPR. Okay. And this one here will cost, I don't know, we can say 100 gold. With like no thanks. Now I do like to have no thanks as the first option in askers. So if someone's spamming E, they don't accidentally buy something or trigger an event when they didn't mean to. So if you have the first option as always a decline option, you prevent like mistakes from happening from players that actually actively have to go to the next option instead of spamming E for it to work. It's just a safety mechanism. And what we can do here is purchase item. Now we are using this shop system here. We aren't purchasing an item, so you can rename this to like purchase or whatever you want to make it more relevant. But I'm just showing that you can still use that same message to do the calculations here. So if we want this to cost 100 gold, it will send a message over there, and we can toggle. And we can toggle this off, on, and toggle it off with purchase item. But I prefer to send this to a middleman since we're using a message argument. And we'll just say play one. And we'll send that play one message from here. And we will turn this off with play one. And we'll turn it back on with toggle on. Toggle game guy on. Okay, and now we can send that to our middleman here, which is play one. And then to the rules, we can do purchase item. And we can say 100. If it's successful, it will send a message and begin the game. If it's not successful, it should send a message to say you don't have enough money. So let's just quickly test that out. Click OK, and not enough money. We don't have anything now to toggle it back on. So you can see if we had not enough money, it didn't quite work. And you'll need separate messages, because here, if something's purchase success or fail, it toggles back these assets on. And obviously you don't want the whole map to be toggled back on. So you're going to have some sort of confusion with the multiplayer and multiple people trying to access it. Okay, we got that part working. And it doesn't toggle back on because we need a separate message here, which is toggle game guy on. So we can separate the different toggles so they're not toggling and crossing over with each other, if that makes sense. All right, so if someone is sending a message play one and purchase item is successful, what we could do here is duplicate this one, and we can have a toggle here. It will turn on with play one, and if purchase is successful, we can set controller game one, and that will go to the rules. And what we want to do here is we're going to have a new variable. It's going to be a number. It's going to be local, and it'll be player input controller. And we're going to have a set number value. And when we set game controller, we're going to have player input controller to be equal to 1. And we can duplicate this and make this one 0 when we end the game 1. And the reason for this is the person that has 1 will be able to push 1, 2, 3 on the keyboard to pick rock, paper, scissors. And no other person can push 1, 2, or 3 to select that answer for someone. So if we go to rules and do compare numbers, we can compare game 1 inputs, and if their input is equals to 1, actually we need to do something else before that. We need to have triggers and key input. So key input 1, we'll say press 1, key input 2, and this one here will be press 2, and key input 3, and that will send a message press 3. So when 1 is pushed, it sends that message out. So we're going to see press 1 is going to be sent to this comparison, and if the player input controller is equal to 1, we can say select option 1. And we can duplicate this one, and when we press 2 and our input controller is equal to 1, we will select option 2. And if we duplicate this one and do press 3 and our controller input is equal to 1, we can select option, I actually got to write this one out, option 3. Cool. And that's pretty much it for that one. Obviously you will need to add more things to toggle things on and off so people don't spam. You want it so only one player can do this at a time. That one here requires a little bit more setting up for that to work, but this is the basics of it. So if select option 1 occurs, we can say here no collisions, and we can have a speaker on this one. And this one here, it will be 3 seconds. It's going to listen for message, and it's going to be the option select 1. You have picked rock. And we can move this aside, duplicate. Okay, here we're going to say you have picked scissors. Had to Google that one. I don't really spell that out, and I get my S's and C's all mixed up. And this one here is, okay, so we've got rock. Which is select option 1. We're going to have select option 2 for scissors, and select option 3 for rock, for paper. And this is basically what's going to be said by the NPC. So go ahead and save that one. Nice, we've got a spammer who got banned. GG. That's good. Okay, so we could say let's play. Purchase success. We can change that message so that if I press 1, you have picked rock. If I push 2, you have picked scissors. And if you push 3, you have picked paper. We'll select those 3, and we'll get rid of the names on them. Oh, you used to be able to just have blank names. I didn't want to have a name up there just so it's neater, but it is what it is. All right, you have picked rock. Now we need to have an RNG system to see if you beat the other player or not. So let's go ahead and add a new variable. That variable can be global, and we'll call it RNG scissors, paper, rock. And we're going to add a rule to roll around the number. And we're going to say RNG scissors, paper, rock. and the minimum will be 1, and the maximum will be 3, and that will be RNG here. Then we'll say compare RNG. So we need to now check to see if it was 1, 2, or 3. So we're going to compare RNG, and now RNG is equal to 1. We're going to do RNG 1. We're going to duplicate this. If it equals 2, it's going to be RNG 2. And if it's 3, we're going to RNG 3. Cool. And now we just need to compare what beats what. There will be a few ways of doing this. A quick way would be, that I can think of, is a number that is local. We could do global. It doesn't really matter, I don't think. And we can do our scissors, paper, rocks, player selection. Cool. And we can add a set number value. Move this down. So when we select option 1, it's going to set the player has selected 1. And if we do option 2, and option 3. So picking our option, it will set our normal value. It would be nice if you had what the options were. I do remember it being 1 being rock, 2 being scissors, 3 being paper. You can always label these so you know which one you're dealing with. So if a player has selected rock and the RNG is 1, what we can do here is compare numbers. RNG 1, and we can compare is RNG equal to it's going to be RNG 1, and if what player has selected is equal to 1, that means it's going to be draw. So we can have a local banner, and we could say draw for 1 second. We could duplicate this. If the player selection is 2, that means they've selected scissors, and rock beats scissors, and it will say you lose for 1 second. And we can duplicate this, and if the player pressed 3, which will be paper, rock gets defeated by paper, and it will be you win. And that's how you do it for each one, and this will be RNG 1. And then you duplicate it, and you're going to do the same thing for RNG 2. So you can go RNG 2, and if the player selected 1, scissors gets defeated by rock. So you can say you win because you selected rock, they've selected scissors. If it's scissors versus scissors, it's draw. And if you selected paper, it's you lose. And if we duplicate this RNG2, we'll duplicate it, come down here, and this one here will be RNG3. And this one here is paper. If you've selected rock, you lose because rock loses to paper. If you selected scissors, you win because scissors cuts paper. And if you selected paper as well, it will be a draw. Okay, let's go ahead and check that out. Hey Panda, how's it going? So now when we test this out, it's very raw, but it works, or it should work. We're going to pay 100 gold. Purchase success. I can change that message. If I press 1, you have picked rock. I haven't got a message to send from selection. So when I push 1, I need to send a message RNG SPR. So what we can do here is have a timed event. Timed event. So we want something to happen after a certain amount of time. We want it to be repeatable. And that is when I select select option 1, select option 2, select option 3. So we're going to have that here. Option 1, option 2, option 3. And after 3 seconds, we're going to send a message, the RNG SPR. And that one should work. So I'm going to do 100 gold. It's going to say purchase success. It's giving me the option now to push 1, 2, or 3. Let's push 2. I have picked scissors. It should count down 3 seconds. And it will say draw, meaning they've picked scissors as well. If I push 3, it says I picked paper. And it says I win because they must have got rock. If I do 3 again and do paper, it says I win. So let's see if this is broken or if it's working. I did 3 again and it's a draw. So it is doing a random roll after each selection to let me know if I won, draw, or lose. You win. So that part is working. You will need to fill in the logic in between to disable the toggle when the player is using it. You also want to show with assets what the player is going up against, so you can have 2 screens with paper, scissors, rock, or 2 assets, and you have one over here and one over here. When I select one here, it will display it. I don't know if there is an asset for that. Nope. I do know that someone has made it in the marketplace. Just hands that do paper, scissors, or rock. So I can duplicate this. And what I can have here is the text to let you know what you're going against. So when we have RNG, it does comparisons, and it's RNG1, RNG2, RNG3. So RNG1, this one is 3. That one here is 1. So this one here will be RNG1. And NPC picked rock. This one here is RNG2. And you can have, saves me from typing that out again. NPC picked scissors. And this one here is NPC picked paper. And this one here we need RNG3. I can have this displayed for 5 seconds, have this displayed for 3 seconds, and let's see if this one works. Okay, purchase success. We can change that later. So if I push 1, it says I have picked rock. NPC picked paper, you lose. So maybe I can have this stay up a bit longer, maybe 6 seconds, maybe 7 seconds. And this one should be 3. Okay. But it looks like it works. All right, we're going to push 1. I picked rock. NPC picked rock. It's a draw. If I pick 2, which is scissors, NPC picks scissors as well. It's a draw. If I pick 3 and it's paper, NPC picked rock. Paper beats rock. I win. If I do rock, NPC picks scissors. I win because rock beats scissors. Do rock again. And that should be a draw. So you can see now the logic for rock, paper, scissors works. You can have different ways of displaying the choices. It's just a matter of displaying the right message and rewarding the player if they're correct or not. You can reward them some gold each time they win, or you can take gold away each time they play. So you can have something like 30 gold to play. If they win, they get 50 gold. And if they lose, they get nothing. If they draw, they can get 10, something like that. You do whatever system you like, but here is the logic on how to put it together. Okay, so now we've got our first event sign up and a way to get out of the event if you don't wish to play. We have the timer for the event, and when it hits 0, it teleports anyone who signed up into the area of the event. We've set up a money system and a shop system with message arguments. So if we want to sign up for the event, we walk into this area here and we've signed up. If we want to cancel the event, we can get out of the queue by pressing E or talking to someone. But we want to join the event. When it hits 0, it teleports me to wherever I need to be for a race or an event to happen. We need to set up the timer up the top so the event happens and there's a 5-minute or a 10-minute timer for the event. And then when that finishes, it teleports all the players back out, back to the lobby. And that's easy to do as well. And you can do this with toggles. So a good way to do it is you can't bring teleports out of an asset spawner in a multiplayer game. It bugs out. So what you can do here is you can have a message broadcaster and a toggle. And this TP player can be sent to the message broadcaster instead. And then that will trigger to the self, and the self will be TP players now or something at the end, and then we can have that here. And the reason for this is we can toggle this on and off as we needed. So if I test this out now with the toggle off, even when the 20-second timer hits 0 and we're signed up, it shouldn't teleport us because the message is not being sent to the message broadcaster, which then sends it to the teleporter to send us to this location. So let's just quickly check. And you can see we have not been teleported. What we can do here is we can have this toggle on, so we can teleport straight away. And after the teleport has been done, message on finish can be turn off TP, and this one here can be sent here, turn off TP. So it's going to be initially on, but after we TP, it's going to turn off the TP, and it should work. So let's test that out one more time. Pick up some gold. And you can spawn those presets inside an event, delete them after the event is finished, so that way they all reset. And you can see we've been teleported. And that should turn off that teleport. It shouldn't be on anymore. So when we're racing, we can turn on another teleport inside the lobby area. So when they get eliminated or the race ends, they will come back to the lobby. So we duplicate that teleport with Control D, snap to the ground, and players can come back here. So we'll have this turned off. We can turn this on with turn off teleport, and off with lobby area, or whatever the case may be. And then when players are in this area and they have teleported here, we can have a volume. And this volume will just detect players if they're in this area. And if they are, it will start a timer. So that timer up the top, when it counts to 0, we can say here, set timer. And we can set timer to the rules. And then we come up to the rule system. And what we can do here is we can set, I don't know if we can set time, can we? Yes, we can. We can set time value. Set timer, and we're going to change the timer to whatever value we want. It could be a 5-minute event. And then we can have countdowns. Countdowns are a bit harder to set up while having each number displayed on a banner. But let's see if this part works. And I have I don't have a meeting. This was a stream. That's okay. Thought I had a meeting in a few minutes. All right, so we are up here and the event starts in and the timer has not changed. So that part doesn't work. Congrats, Tom Voxel. You have won a giveaway. So it doesn't look like setting the timer works in this version. I haven't really checked in the later versions to see if that's been fixed. But this one here, set timer, should be setting the timer to the rules, every avatar, yeah. So I guess that part doesn't work. But what we could do here is probably start timer. And that probably works. We'll test that out. Okay, so the set timer doesn't work, but the start timer does, as you can see. So we can probably bypass it in a way. I wonder if we could... let's change the countdown timer from 20 seconds. Something like 6 seconds, so we don't have to wait so long between each test. And we can have a start timer, and we can probably have a pause timer, I think. Pause time. And fixed value can be true. So I wonder if this will set it up so we can have 5 minutes and then it pauses straight away to give us our timer. Let's see if this works. That works. So we can definitely set a timer and pause it straight away if we want the time to be changed. And we have event starts in, so we don't want that either. You want like race timer. So what we can do is also use that message set timer to change the HUD. So we can have here set timer. We just duplicated this one, and all we do here is have race timer, or just time left. You know, race, you know, whatever you want, race timer or time left, it's up to you. And after 5 seconds, we want to start the timer again. So what we can do here is, since we set that as the same, we can then say run timer as a different message. And then we can grab our timed event and we can duplicate that and we can say set timer, and after say 5 seconds we can start event timer. I think that's what we selected, right? No, we got run timer. Okay, let me fix that. This one here is run timer. Okay, so now we should be able to TP in a lobby, show 5-minute timer. It will be paused. Then after 3 or 5 seconds, the timer should start ticking down from the event, from the timed event. And that did not. So we got set timer here. It's not what we want, is it? Yeah, we got set timer, set timer. It runs this, and then after 5 seconds, it sends a message, run timer, which is a... Maybe we need to have a pause timer here. So pause timer to be false, because it didn't look like it wanted to reset it again. So let's see if just making the pause timer false makes it start ticking. And this will be the last test for today's stream. We have covered quite a lot in this stream. Okay, after 5 seconds, let's see if it unpauses. It does not. So there's some issues with the timer event, or the timed behavior, talking to the rules. Let me just double check the broadcast area for this timed event. It's to all, so it should be working. So it must be just a timer issue here. There might be workarounds for this, but I haven't explored too much of that personally. Like, I have made a race timer in my obby, but I don't remember all the ins and outs of that, because there's just so much problem solving and adjusting and things like that. So I don't know how I made that work. Actually, I do. I never paused the timer for that. I just had the timer run. and then stop and then reset. So yeah, I guess you can't pause and unpause, or once it's set, you can't. Yeah, there's something going on there with this version. I will check it in a newer version and see if it's been fixed or it needs to be addressed. But yes, that's it for today. I hope you learnt something. We got a working paper, scissors, rock. It's a rough version of it, but that's good. It works. We have a shop system where we use the default preset for the shop and then made the changes to make it more based on message arguments, so we can expand the items in the shop without needing to have 100 different sets of rules for your 100 different items. It just universally uses this. We've learned how to set individual player numbers for when they sign up to a race and teleport them in a race if they are signed up. And we have a sign here to make players, if they choose, to remove themselves from the event queue. And then we can teleport players into the event and then set a 5-minute timer. Next stream, we're going to make a little parkour race where the items spawn. We're going to have them delete when a race finishes and teleport the players back into the lobby area when it's done. We might clean up the rock, paper, scissors a bit and have a cost value for winning and losing, or an item gain, that sort of thing. But this is like the rough logic for all these separate little things to get, you know, an interesting parkour lobby area experience. But thanks for tuning in, guys. And if you need any help with logic, reach out to me on Discord. I'm happy to help anytime. I'll be helping Ian out tomorrow with his logic. And yeah, happy to help problem solve. We'll let you know if things are possible or not as well. But thanks for tuning in, and have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.